Alright, welcome back everybody to another video on learning technical analysis. Today we are going to go over trend lines and channels. Before we get into it, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And your support really helps the channel grow and it is very much appreciated. So basically, what is a trend? Stocks, they don't move straight up and they don't move straight down. What they do is they move in waves like this. So if you notice, a trend is defined as a stock making higher highs here, an uptrend, and higher lows. We're making higher highs and we're making lower lows. So this is an uptrend. And a downtrend is defined as a stock making lower highs and lower lows. So we're making lower highs and we're making lower lows. So we have a downtrend. Oh, didn't mean to do that. So in order for a trend line to be valid, you want to see price touch that trend line 3 times. So if we were going to draw a trend line here, which is obviously an uptrend, we could start that right here. And we start it here. Price falls below this point here, so that's obviously not a valid trend. But then we can adjust this line as price moves until we start finding an actual valid trend. See, now we've adjusted it here, and we're starting to get more touches of our trend line. See, we have 2 here. Price isn't quite bouncing off of that, so we can adjust it a bit more. Oh, now it looks like we have a valid trend. There's 1 touch here. I would consider this a touch here. There's a touch there. There's 1. Here's another one here. Another one here. So as swing traders, we don't need to catch all of this. A trend is a series of impulse waves. Wave up is an impulse wave, and then pullback waves. Wave down is a pullback. Impulse, pullback. Impulse, pullback. Impulse, pullback. Impulse wave. What we are aiming to catch would be this area here. We want to catch the impulse wave. So once we can establish a valid trend line with our 3 touches, 1, 2, what happens here on this 3rd touch? If you remember from our candlestick lesson from before, let's zoom in here and look at it. This right here, that's a bullish pin bar. So that is a very solid reversal pattern, right? And we also get a bounce off of our trend line. So I would consider this a pretty high probability trade. We've got 2 things working in our favor. We've got the bullish pin bar. We've got bouncing off of a valid trend line. So you could put a buy order in right up here. Put a stop loss just below that candle there. And then put your targets about 2 times away from that. This would be your take profit. And as expected, price moves up the next day, fills your order here, and then follows the trend back up until it hits your take profit. And if you didn't catch that trade the very next day, guess what? There's another bullish pin bar. Put a buy order on top of this bullish pin bar. Stop losses underneath. Target's 2 times away. That one hits also. So what you are looking for are clear trends up. So here you have clear higher highs and clear higher lows. That makes this a valid uptrend because higher high, oh sorry about that, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher highs, and you're making higher lows also. A valid trend. So you can catch these bounces on these trends. Now, is this a trend? No. Why is this not a trend? This is making the same highs, lower lows. Here's a higher high, higher high. You could argue that very short term, this does move in a trend here. But generally, when you're trading trends, you don't want to look for price movement like this. It's very choppy. It's more of a consolidation than a trend. But you could argue, for the sake of that, this is indeed an uptrend, very short term, because it does touch 1, 2, 3 times here, and then it breaks here. So now, what about downtrends? So remember, a downtrend is a stock making lower highs and lower lows. So here's a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and we're making lower lows. So this I would consider a valid downtrend. So how do we draw? Same thing with the uptrend. A downtrend must touch 3 times to be valid. So 1, you could start a trend line here. And you adjust that trend line as price moves. So there's 1 touch, 2 touches. Here makes a high. At this point right here, this is the trend line that you would have. And then as price comes up this way and then rejects there, you can trade this also. This is a pretty bearish candlestick pattern here. It's not quite a bearish engulfing pattern, but it is pretty close. So you could put stop losses here, entry orders there, targets roughly 2 times away. Not even 3 days later you hit those targets. But at this point, you would probably want to adjust your trend line again, because now you've made a new high. So right about there. And then look what happens. Price moves down. It consolidates for a bit. And where does it retrace to? Right back at the trend line. And then right here on the trend line, what do you see? That's a bearish pin bar. So you can trade this. That's 2 things working in your favor. You have a bearish candlestick pattern in this pin bar. You could get in there, Stop loss is just above the trend, profit target 2 times away, and you hit targets yet again. So you can find these trends on any time frame. I'm using the daily, but we'll look at some other charts as well. And then here, look what happens again. Currently, Piton right here is bouncing off of a downtrend line. I'm not saying that this is a trade that I'm taking. It is not a trade I'm personally taking. But look what's happening. You're getting some bearish movement back off of this trend line. So if I were a betting man, I would assume price is probably going to continue this downtrend from here. So let's go look at some different stocks and draw some more. Let's go look at Apple. Everybody likes Apple. Let me delete all of my old drawings off of here. So Apple here is very obviously in an uptrend. So how do we draw that? We're going to connect our lows. Swing low here. Swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low. So at this point, this is the trend line that you would have. Connect these lows. Right here at this point, this is probably the trend line that you would have drawn. And as you can see, price is bouncing quite nicely off of it several times. And it does fall below just a bit, and then it returns back to the original trend. So at that point, you could probably adjust that trend again. And here, it very clearly breaks that trend, and then it starts moving into a consolidation pattern. It's not making higher highs, it's not making higher lows, it's not making lower highs or lower lows, it's more consolidating. So if you're trading focusing on trends, you don't want to trade any of this nonsense. You want very clear higher highs and higher lows. Now, let's go see and look at some different time frames just so that we can see. See, now we are looking at, let's just go look at a 5-minute chart. Here we can see just a couple of days of Apple. So here, same thing. Connect your lows. And here, price has definitely accelerated. So 1, 2, 3 connects there. It's a lot harder to do this with the smaller time frames. And the reason for that is generally you want to stay in a single day's time frame on charts like this. So the open, that's generally going to be up, down. After about 30 minutes is when you're going to start seeing some clear movement. So Apple's obviously trading up for the day. So let's see if we can get some good valid connects going. 1, 2, 3. So intraday, you can probably trade this third bounce here. So you get 1. There's another bounce off the trend. 2. You could maybe trade this. That's a nice little 3-candle reversal. Get in there. Your stop would be quite large, but you would actually hit targets. You could trade that. You would probably hit targets around in there. Here's another bounce. You could probably make 2 trades off of this intraday. And we'll get into some indicators and stuff that you can use as well. So now, pre-market stuff, we're not really going to mess with that. Uh-oh, next day, what's going on here? Clear movement down. So this is a down day for Apple. At first glance, this trend line would look like. So you would probably, on this bounce here, be looking to short. That's a pretty bearish movement, and you would probably lose. But you can't always win. But as the day goes by, you can adjust your trend line. Sorry, I'm just giving you guys just a little bit of idea of how you would use this in your trading. That wasn't really the purpose of this video, but I really just can't help myself. There we go. So, I feel like we've probably covered trend lines just about as much as we need to. Let's get into channels. Channels are very similar to trend lines. Let's go to a daily chart of Apple, except you're going to get both sides. So we're on a daily chart here of Apple. This here is a channel, so same thing. You're going to connect your lows. But this one, you want to connect your highs. So here there's not a very clear channel. It's all over the place. Let's find one that is more clear. You'll find stuff that is trading in a very clear channel. Here's some stuff. So connect your lows for your uptrend. Oh, messed it all up. Let's start right there. Connect our lows. 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces. Connect your highs. So this is not a very good channel either now, is it? I do apologize. I will find something. Okay, here we go. It's going to be a small channel, but it will work. Connect our lows. Connect our highs. Can even go as far as moving that way back here. So Apple stayed in this channel, this particular channel, obviously, for a very long time. Now, you wouldn't know that this was a valid channel until there's one touch there, 2 touches there. You wouldn't know this is a valid channel until here. So you'd have your uptrend, and then you would have there with that right there is your third touch of the channel, but then you've got all these highs that are touching the same location also. So you can trade this as a channel as well. So this next time price comes down, let's zoom in just a bit. So price comes down, it rejects your normal trend line, which would be this portion here, bullish pin bar. You can take a trade off of this. Bullish pin bar, stop losses here, and you can use the top of this channel as your targets instead. That's a very big profit target. And it's also a pretty high probability setup if you use it in confluence with your candle patterns. And you could even go as far as, if you wanted to be really risky about it, you could short here at the top of this channel. But if you were going to go that route, I wouldn't recommend it personally. But if you're going to short something in an uptrend, then it's a counter trend. A lot of people do it. Don't target the bottom of the channel. Keep your targets just two times. You want to get out of these shorts very quickly as you can. But if you notice, there's a lot of good trades that you can have on both sides from trading this channel. So you can trade the bottom here, you can trade the top here, you can trade the top here, you can trade the bottom there, you can trade this top, you could trade that bottom. If you shorted that one, you would probably lose. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades that you get in this channel, only one of them lose. So once again, and these channels, they work on any time frame as well. Let's go look at something different. Let's look at AMD, and let's look at the 1 hour chart. We'll find a channel here. So here's a very recent, something that looks, let's see if I can find something. Consolidating. We want clear movement. There we go. There's a very nice downtrending channel. Connect your highs, find your trend. Just adjust this just a bit. Now there's kind of an art form to this, obviously, but price is moving fairly predictably here. See, notice it's boom, 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 and it moves out of that channel, but then it falls right back into it again. Price, this, I would consider this a valid channel, but you would definitely want to keep your stops tight trading this. Let's go back to, here we go. This probably is a valid up channel. Connect our lows, connect our highs. Let's delete that one so to keep this pretty clear. So this is a pretty valid channel. Got 1 touch here, 2 touches there, 3 touches there. Price hangs out here for a while, and then it starts to move higher. Oh crap. So on this 1, 2, on this 3rd touch here, that's really the only valid trade that you would get off of this channel. This, I keep making that bigger. I do it all the time. Prices are rejecting here. But unless you got in early, you wouldn't have caught that because it does gap up. So anyway, I feel like we've probably gone over trends and channels just about as much as we need to. That's a fairly simple concept, but they are fairly powerful. Actually, let's talk about one more thing. No, we'll bring that up next time. Next time we can go over moving averages and how they act as trend following guides also. So with that being said, let's remember, please like, subscribe, and comment. Your support really helps out the channel. And sorry, I do kind of ramble sometimes, but I feel like you guys kind of enjoy it. So we'll see you dudes next time.